This is Newcap News with Lauren Poland.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A spring surprise for many across the region, waking up to a blanket of wet snow. The unseasonable weather is wreaking havoc on area power lines.
The heavy wet snow has created situations where it's frozen on the lines, and we've experienced some wire breaks as a result, and also in a couple of instances we've had some trees that have come down on the power lines as well.
Close to 600 residences were in the dark today in rural areas of Lloydminster, Vermilion, St. Paul and Bonnyville.
We've deployed a significant number of resources, manpower, crews to respond to all those outages, and they're currently working their way through them.
As of now, power has been restored to most customers around the region. There's around 30 residents in the Bonnyville-St. Paul region and roughly the same in Vermilion who are still in the dark. ATCO is encouraging customers who have lost their power to call its 24-hour electric emergency line at that number right there on your screen. Well, good news from a missing persons case we brought you last week. 42-year-old Vincent Spyglass has been located safe and sound. He went missing in the middle of April after hitchhiking from North Battleford. Police are thanking the public for their help. People of all ages were lacing up for the fight against multiple sclerosis today as the 14th annual MS Walk took place at Bud Miller Park. Karen McCullough tells us how walkers braved the wet snow, banding together to fundraise and support an important cause.
It's really just a great coming together of more than 80 volunteers. Mix that in with a ton of dedicated walkers, and it's a tremendous event.
The MS Society hosted more than 400 walkers in the fight against MS. Walkers warmed up with stretches by Pilates instructor Donna Schellenberg, a dedicated volunteer in her 13th year with the event.
The MS Society is our biggest family charity of the year. We kind of prepare for this all year round. We host a garage sale every year as well, so this is our third one.
Wet snow may have covered the region, but that didn't stop anyone from taking part.
Whether or no weather, there's still MS, so we got to push together through the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Just to support our friends and family. So.
Walkers of all ages took part, and even furry friends hit the pavement for a cure. The MS Society hopes that these events will help make the future for MS patients a little brighter.
We're fueling funds into finding a cure for this disease so that hopefully one day there's no need for this walk and there's no need for an MS Society. That's our goal.
Carrie McCullough, Newcap News.
A local committee is celebrating the unnoticed efforts women contribute to our community. Elise Cox brings us the story.
Debbie Babcock is the first to receive the Woman of Inspiration Award.
I couldn't believe that I actually did win.
Her colleague Dawn Floan saw an ad in the paper and knew she needed to be nominated.
And I was thinking of, women that were inspiring in my job area, and Debbie came straight to mind.
Debbie works at a middle school and goes way beyond her job description.
Always smiling and always positive in a job that lots of people are not. And I just admire her for that. She's like that as a person all of the time.
The board chose Debbie because she stood out from the 20 other nominees.
A lot of the things that she represented were a lot of the things that were the basis of what Women of Inspiration was founded on.
Her being so selfless and, just thinking of everybody else, it came through in her nomination. And so I felt that when I read it. So I think it inspired me to read it. So she's definitely the type of person that we're trying to focus on through this award program. So.
Debbie's role model is her mother and says she's really the one to thank.
She loves to help other people. She's a giver, not a taker, and that's the way I like to be.
The purpose is to award women who don't get recognized for what they contribute to the community. Debbie walked away with a $250 travel certificate and knowing her hard work isn't going unnoticed. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Emma joins us now with our first look at sports and big changes for the Bobcats. They lost 12 players in the offseason and their head coach. What can they look forward to now?
So many veterans gone. The new guy stepping in has a big job to fill. I'll tell you all about that. Ryan Perrin outlined his long-term plan for the team and one that goes deeper than just on-ice performance, as Perrin also takes on the role of Director of Hockey Operations.
The off-season storyline that has everyone wondering about next season is the Bobcats have 12 roster spots that need to be filled. Such a staggeringly high number leaves the immediate future of the team in doubt. Perrin wants to make sure this doesn't happen again.
I'm looking to develop a program where we have a level, amount of attrition each year. So we're not looking to fill half a roster, each season.
The recruitment process has already bore success. Perrin has snagged the captain of the Notre Dame Hounds, 6-foot, 200-pound defenseman Clay Van Diest from Helena, Montana.
A little bit different twist for a fella from the States who will be up here playing in Lloyd.
If you go down to Montana or Minnesota, and it's huge hockey. The only real team that recruits down there actively is Vernon. We want those kids to come to the Bobcats, so recruiting's huge.
This quick, bold signing is the first in what the Bobcats hope is a trend of significant out-of-province recruitment.
I'm looking to develop a system of recruiting where we know certain prospects are coming into Lloydminster and they want to play here. So we're going to probably fill our import quota. I mean, we're allowed 8.
He's got connections in all 3 Western provinces. We've got a guy that we know very well that works through the Quebec League. It's all about networking, and hockey's a small world.
Perrin says he will still look to both sides of the border for players and will be relying on returning rookie Manny Marcineau for scoring next season.
Lloydminster may be the definitive hockey city in all of Canada. 2 local boys are still competing for the Stanley Cup. The city just finished hosting the Allen Cup and is in the running for Hockey Day in Canada. Today, area athletes expanded awareness of another version of Canada's favorite sport.
This is how sledge hockey is played. This is how sledge hockey is played by rookies.
It's harder to get up than it looks.
No, it's kind of fun. I mean, nothing like showing off a couple times, but no, it's not like that. I mean, every time somebody comes out, to see them struggle, it just means they're trying.
The Canadian Paraplegic and Paralympic Sports Associations brought sledges to the Service Sports Centre to show off a sport that able-bodied and disabled athletes can play.
Everybody's on the same playing field. You get in a sledge next to me and you're in the same, we're all in the same boat, but it's just so liberating. And so people that come out, they will see how exciting it is.
It's a great opportunity to introduce a new sport and bring some public awareness to a community that is so strong in hockey.
For people that have new disabilities, it's probably the smartest thing they can do is get into sports, because you get to hang out with people with similar disabilities, learn from them, and continue a wonderful life afterwards.
Vincent is a CPA member who is trying sledge hockey for the first time.
I haven't been able to play hockey for a couple of years, so it's pretty exciting to give it a go, and these guys look like they're pretty good, so we'll see if I can't pick up a few things.
Brian says sledge hockey is the best option for disabled athletes.
The fact that you get to crank guys, I think, really. Stand-up hockey guys get body checked. They get body checked in a glass that flexes about 8 inches. In sledge hockey, you get body checked in the boards. There's absolutely no flexing whatsoever. So, it's a little bit more physically demanding, for sure.
To see more sledge hockey in the border city, tune into Around the Region this Saturday at 7:30 on CITL TV.
Some of the top bull riders in the nation were in Marwayne for the PBR Tour. All eyes were on local boy Denton Edge, but unfortunately he would get bucked off, failing to qualify for the final round, as did Lloydminster's Clayton Hines. The national champion Chad Bestplug was on hand just 24 hours after winning the Clovis Rodeo Championships in California. He went on to post scores of 84.5 and 85 to win the first ever PBR event in Marwayne. That's your first look at Newcap Sports. Stay tuned for more news and weather after the break.
And that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.
Makeup provided by Vivid Hair and Aesthetics.